I just kind of sense in the atmosphere. I'm walking as the prophet tonight, and I just sense in the atmosphere that there are some people who are saying, God, I cannot do what I've been doing. Because if I do what I've been doing, I'm going to have what I've always had. And I'm at a point in my life that I'm fed up with what's been happening. And I'm a little frustrated, and I need a prescription for success and for victory in my life. What must I do for change? And so I needed to say that, and then I'm going to talk to you a little bit about change, and then I'm going to give you some scriptures for you to read, because change begins to become personal. I can want change for you, but I can't make the changes that you're responsible for making. Has anybody ever wanted more for somebody else than they wanted for themselves? And they work you like a Hebrew slave for them, and they don't do half the work you're doing. And anybody understand what I'm talking about? There's somebody in this room besides me tonight that know that I can no longer sit back and watch change happen all around me. I can't let change just happen to me, and I don't do anything about it. And I can't allow change to happen within me without me making some changes. And so change has to be initiated on the inside of you. If we sit back and let others make changes for us, then we have no hope nor control in some changes. Now, I don't care how much folk kick and squall and fuss, but in 9/11 changed the way safety happens in the airports in America. Now, you can get there and say you don't want this and you don't want that, but you're not getting on that plane unless you go through some safety precautions. All right, so folk could say 9/11 didn't affect them, but 9/11 affected America. America had to make changes. And so this person, a couple of people a few weeks ago, rather than being frisked or fisked or whatever you call it, pat down, they just decided that they'd strip down and go through the thing so it would have no reason to go off. But it still made them make a change. You just don't get out your car in your underclothes and check in the airport. Change is happening all around us. So when we understand that change is not going to stop because you don't go along with change, change is going to happen. I just need you to go ahead and let everybody on your row know that I'm about to change. I'm about to change. I'm about to change. I'm not coming to church no more to impress you. Won't be no more days of me trying to pretend that I'm all there, when both you and I need to put our hands together and both open up our mouths and say, Lord, help us. How many times we come in and we just say, oh, Lord, me, mine, when we ought to say, us, God, the house, God, truth for living, God, the whole house, the nation, the city of They came in on a oneness. They came in and said, we are all going through. You might have a little different situation than mine, but going through is going through. Pain is pain. Disappointment is disappointment. Like is like. Loss is loss. Enough is And when I cry out, I'm not just crying out for my house, I'm crying out for your house. I'm crying out for your son. I'm crying out for your daughter. I'm crying out for your finances. We need a miracle. Come on, stand to your feet and begin to holler to heaven. We need a miracle. We need a miracle. God, we need a miracle. We, God, not just me, but we, God. Don't you know that's why the devil wants you separated? That's why he wants you divided. That's why he wants you scattered. If you could ever come together. Okay. So while the Israelites were met to the place and they were offering up and going to the Lord and telling the Lord all these things, the Philistines was plotting. We're going to have to fight now. But if God be for you. Verse 10 says, and sin. Samuel offered up the offering. the Philistines drew near to the battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered. The Lord is about to make a sound on your behalf that's going to scare the hell out of your enemies. The Lord, touch your neighbor, say, the Lord is about to make a sound on our behalf because of our obedience. Oh, the Lord thundered with a great thunder. The Lord thundered with a great thunder. The Lord made a sound that scared their enemies. The enemies were about to attack. And when they heard this sound, touch your neighbor and say, when they heard the sound. When they heard the sound. When the enemies heard the sound, it threw them off because, number one, the Philistines were weather worshipers. And the Lord's going to use what your enemy's been using to work on your enemies. The enemies really thought, oh my God, we serve the God of the weather. And here comes thunder. Oh my God. Oh my God. It threw the enemies off completely. God's got something up his sleeve that's about to throw the enemy off. The very one that was plotting to fight you. The very one that was plotting to destroy you. The very one that came up with a plan to rock your world forever. The Lord God himself. Gonna use what your enemy's been using. The enemy would have never expected thunder to roll like it did. But all the Lord wants you to do is make some changes. Set some priorities. Set some standards. Set some boundaries. Set some standards you will not break. Raise the bar up. The moment you begin to set, I didn't say be self-righteous. I didn't say be kooky and act all crazy and you all of that. Just stay humble and follow the script. And the Lord will use what your enemies least expect to scare the hell out of you.